You see what I mean? Jimmy Lee, get in this house. A woman used to say when I was a young man, about 10, 11, 12 years old. Get in this house. Shut that door. And clean this mess up off that floor. So you slow that down. Shut that door. And clean this mess up off that floor. You're dropping the THER sound by conditioning, an oppressive acculturation process that people are under. You see what I mean? Denied access to formal education, that's an oppressive acculturation process in anthropological terminology. You see what I'm getting at? So that paper I wrote a great paper, fantastic paper on surviving Africans in black language, represented, of course, Dr. Lorenzo Dow Turner. African-American brother, lived in New York, etc. He just died back here, 20 years ago. But my point is, this is the kind of stuff that I was digesting and putting in my head and understanding about us as people, about all people, from the anthropological standpoint. I looked at all people's ethnicities, etc., beyond just the African-American brothers and sisters, but this is good science. You see what I mean? Good proven scientific evidentiary fact is what I learned and evolved to base things on, to base my understanding of what we do, how we struggle, and so on. So in my PE classes, when the Black Panther Party got started and it was really flooding in 1968, I had big time PE classes. So the main thing to talk to them about and teach them was community organizing. Because I didn't like sitting up in some meeting and the basic socioeconomic structure and the adverse conditions that we're subjected to, and considering particular sociological and psychological factors against the backdrop in the history of slavery, etc. And I think we must consider so. Now, if you got a young black guy, black girl, out there trying to hustle, hey, Brother Bobby, what they talking about, man? You know what the hell you talking about? You know what I mean? It's not that what the person has said is not necessarily true, that I'm not pointing that out. It's communicating to that grassroots brother or sister in the community. That's where I'm coming from, you know. So, instead of saying, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary, you know what I mean? That's part of the Declaration of Independence. If I'm going to really communicate it, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for any one people to dissolve the political bondage which we've been connected with. Now I'm saying that. So the power structure gets pissed off at me and call me a militant. He's a violent militant. I'm reciting the Declaration of Independence, United States of America. You know what I mean? So when I was in jail in Connecticut, locked up in an isolation cell, and finally when I took the jail's commissioner to court, federal court, for violating the 8th Amendment and their isolation of me, I won the case, and the NACP helped me do that. I won the case. So even though they had me in an isolation cell area with no other prisoners around, they had to bring a television in there, they had to bring me the newspapers, get my books and stuff that I wanted in there. So, and I even got my drafting board in there where I helped continue to design community cooperative housing. So what I'm trying to say is, my God, I remember that so vivid, that I would be sleepy in court. Sleeping when so I'd stay up at night, because the second cell was empty, so I said, I want a drafting board, and all my drafting instruments, drop out blue line tablet paper, etc. I'm an architect, you know, boom, 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 boom. So page for page, I'm designing community cooperative housing. In jail, I'm on trial, going back and forth to trial. So sometime I'd be up, my God, and now I give it hours of sleep, and they'd come and take me to the court. I actually went to sleep in my chair in the court, particularly when the DA was doing his summary, and the jury is watching me. And we got 6 black folks on this jury, you know. man, and it was all in the newspapers. Bobby Seale seems to be sleeping in the courtroom. Well, but really I was asleep because I was up designing. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, oh my God. I did that paper on surviving Africans in black language, and when we finally did get Dean Olson to, whatever, you know, I had everybody do papers of one kind. If you don't do, just do a book report synopsizing a particular book and its value to African and African American history. We wrote 4 syllabus for 4 courses, 2 courses in African history and African studies, 2 courses in Black American studies. We outlined that with all the materials, bibliography, and stuff like this here. And then when we had the thing with Dean Olson, we showed him, here's the material, this stuff, and we wrote papers and stuff. In vain. So when they got a young guy, Dr. Rodney Carlisle, I'll never forget him. He came in, he's a young white guy, you know, fine, boom, boom, boom. And the first day, he was teaching American history, and 1, 2, 3, he mentioned black folks 1, 2, 3 times. And so we pulled him to the side after the class was over, Dr. Carlisle. You're not teaching black American history. Says, come here, we want to show you something. So we went somewhere and we sit him down and we showed him our papers that we had showed the dean when we got to class. We got him to approve putting classes in. Mine was Surviving Africans and Bertram Morrell, African Americans who fought in the Civil War, 168,000, 30,000 died, etc., and so on. And others who just synopsized books and works. And Dr. Carlisle looked at these papers. He says, my God. Boom, boom, boom. He says, you're right, I'm not teaching anything. I don't know this. But I liked him. You know why? He says, would you guys present your papers and stuff to the class that you've written to get this class going on? He says, yeah, we'll do that. He says, do that. I'm going to sit down, take notes, and I'm going to tell everybody to take notes. And then we'll figure out a way to get these other people in the class, you know, how to do a paper on some significant black history. And that's what we did. And Dr. Carlisle said, y'all gonna teach me.